Hi, this is Matthew, running solo for a short special episode. I hope you appreciate it. So most of you should know that coming up in the next weekend is the Unbelievable Conference, which happens most years. And last year, I think it was last year anyway, Glen Scrivener read out a poem, I believe called It's a Given. I'll include a link to his poem in the notes. My thoughts on Glen's poem was it was a very well written poem, very well delivered poem. I'd like to give him credit for the creativeness in the poem. However, the representations of atheism in there didn't even touch anything close to how I see myself as an atheist, or how others I know who are atheists see themselves. So it missed a bit of a mark there. So what I have done earlier this year is I wrote a response to Glen's poem. So if you did hear Glen's poem, or if you're able to dig out Glen's poem and read it or listen to it, you'll recognise that I've copied a bit of the style of Glen's poem in what you're about to hear. So for the next 5 minutes, for the rest of this episode, is the poem that I've written as a response to Glen's poem Given. Please enjoy it, I hope you appreciate it. And as always, you know how to contact us. Click the link to leave a voice message or reasonpress.net. Enjoy! Unbelievable. 40 years old, a keyboard well worn, messages full of absolute certainty. He said that my soul was doomed for eternity. He said that deep down I knew God existed. I wanted to sin, that's why I resisted. You cannot find meaning by studying science, he typed. Repent now of this earthly reliance. I replied, Oh, how could you possibly know? Everyone knows, he replied categorical. It rests on a miracle, it's proven historical. I typed back, I admire your assured affirmation. Have you tested your claims to get confirmation? How can you be sure that the things you believe on aren't imaginary, untrue, or patently wrong? What's your protection from bogus reflection? He asked, What do you mean? You claim to be rational, I said. To hold views intellectual, I said. You say you have access to divine inspiration, so I need to ask you just one small question. The claim in your missive is very impressive, a source supernatural that you say is factual. So my question is this. How do you know? He said, It's a given. A given, I queried. A given, he affirmed. A given, I reminded him, that remains unconfirmed. A given, I said, that I cannot perceive. Its source is unreachable, the distance unbreachable. Oh no, he came back, that's simply not true. The knowledge I have is available to you. Confess all your sin. Let Jesus come in. Get on your knees, submit to him, please. Acknowledge that God has your future in hand. Then my knowledge too, you'll understand. The same question remains, I sent in reply. How do you know? How can you be sure that with knees on the floor, in humble submission to Jesus' mission, that I will receive the things you believe? It's a given, he replied. The whole of the universe by him is created, its contents and laws are held in his hand. That's why there are things you don't understand. Believing in him is the way it is given. How do you know, I said, that these things in your head are not an invention? Please pay attention, he came back with a scoff. I am, I replied. That's why I still question. I question the things that I can't confirm. I have to ask questions in order to learn. All human-based knowledge is due to us asking, and after the asking come tests for the tasking. Experiments confirm the things that we learn. Your science is sound, he affirmed. The things that we've learned have all been confirmed. But what about the soul and things philosophical? To say that they're natural is simply not logical. How do you know? I repeated. Before this gets heated, I need explanation of your information. How can you say that God, in his way, gave us the things we admire and love? The mass and the music, our values and reason, cold starry nights in the long winter season, the things that we know have replaced superstition, Thor's mighty hammer, killed by man's intuition. You tell me that there is a cause to all this, and he is the source of eternal bliss. You say all these things are sourced from above, a source that is perfect, a source that is love. And yet when I ask for the proof of this being, who exists out of time from the very beginning, who gives you comfort while others lie dying, who drowned the whole world without even crying, you ask me to trust this great God of creation, this God that you say offers us his salvation, salvation from sin, of his own definition, salvation from torment, if only we'd love him, this God that's so shy we never can see him, who needed a virgin on earth to conceive him, this God that we cannot detect or measure and yet is the source of all human pleasure. You tell me this God is the reason for science and all of the things that we have reliance. And yet it's not possible to even detect him. A magic force field, or something, protects him. Once more for the asking, I'm begging you now, it's not a big ask. I'm asking you, how? How do you know these things to be true? How is this knowledge revealed to you? It is given, he replied, all given in love. How? I repeated. Don't say that it does, tell me the process of gifts from above. It's given, he typed, from the God you're ignoring, the source of all knowledge. He's really not boring. But as for the how, you need to believe. Get on your knees for his heart you do grieve, and all of the things I've told you about will become clear. You'll have no room for doubt. It's nice, I replied, that these things give you comfort, but it's not a good reason to act so triumphant. Your claims so profound are simply unsound. This cocaine of certainty is utter absurdity. Your problems don't stop at these baseless assertions. Which Christian God will accept my conversion? Armenian, or Baptist, or Catholic, or Coptic, Lutheran, Methodist, Calvinist, or Apostolic, Brethren, or Episcopal, or hands in the air Pentecostal, Unitarian, or Free, or non-denominational, Eastern, Western, Anabaptist, Quaker, Hussite, Anglican? Which one is the faker? Which is the one with right gifts orthodoxical? The choice that I have is quite paradoxical. The one that I tell you were the words that appeared. The one that I tell you is the one that you should follow. All of the others have beliefs that are hollow. I sighed, and replied with a pause in my pace. Sadness was written all over my face. I need more than that to accept your claimed fact. My belief is averted from things just asserted. Confirmation's important for all that's conceivable. Without that, it really is still unbelievable.